In today's video, I'm answering a viewer request about something truly fascinating, the original blueprint and the role of Enki in humanity's evolution. A big thank you to USI Venus for bringing this topic to light. We've all heard about the idea of humanity's DNA being altered, but what if there's more to the story? Is Enki here to help us heal, or is something darker at play? We're diving into the cards to uncover the truth behind this ancient blueprint and what we really need to know to protect our energy and evolution. Let's see what the cards have to say about Enki's true agenda and how it could impact our future. Hello everyone, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new to my channel. We are going to hop right into this viewer request about Enki's true agenda with question 1. Who is the true being influencing humanity since October 2021? Now, this viewer made mention that Enki has been here since October 2021. Not sure where that information came from, but this is what the viewer has said. So what we're looking at here is it truly Enki? Or is it another force claiming that identity? That's what we're asking the cards. Who is the true being influencing humanity since October 2021? So let's see what Oracle has to say, and then we'll add details with Tarot. We have Let Your Love Flow. Now, at first glance here with this card, I feel like this is saying that someone who was very in tune and very connected is the one who perhaps connected up with Enki. But I'm not going to say this for certain. This is kind of the impression that I'm getting. And I feel as though the channeling was very friendly, very loving feeling. So let's see what the second card is. We have Illusion. And again, I'm going to pull another card because I want to be sure here before I open my mouth. The Karate Kid. Interesting here. All right, we have Contact. Okay, I feel like, again, with who is the true being influencing humanity since October 2021, is it truly Enki, or is it another force claiming that identity? So I'm going to say that somebody actually channeled this information from someone who was very loving, someone who very easily connected to the person who channeled, and it felt like a very good presence. There are those out there who believe that this channeling was not real, that it was just basically an illusion, not at all what this person thought they were getting. I'm also feeling that whoever this person was, and it is not going to say, this is Enki. It's not going to happen. But I feel like for the people that this is important to, who understand about Enki and Enlil and all the backstory to them. I feel as though whatever is in their heart and in their mind is exactly who this person is, because it's what's in their heart and in their mind. So whoever you believe this is, whoever you feel this message is coming from, it is an individual belief, individual decision, okay? It is contact. No doubt about it, it is contact from someone not of this world, so to speak. So let's keep going. Morning has broken. I dreamed of Africa. And offer. Okay, anyway, sorry about that, but the viewer who made this request for this reading will definitely understand that word, offer. And so might anyone else who has followed the Enki story here. Okay, so Morning Has Broken is literally about a spiritual connection, about everyday life, about our lives, about human lives, and the unknowns about that. The unknowns, when we have I dreamed of Africa, you're dreaming about a place, but you haven't been there, so you really don't know what to expect from that place. And I feel as though the information, the channeled information, is kind of like that, where we've not been to that place. We're hearing about it, but we've not been to that place yet. So it is basically at this point just a dream. It is also in, I think, this channeling that Enki's offer, a specific offer, and I'm going to say Enki because of the offer. The viewer specifically asked about Enki's offer in her question to me. So I'm going to say that this entity, this being, this God, this Anunnaki, okay, is Enki. We're going to just go with that, no matter what people think is true or not true. Again, it is going to be a very individual decision. It's whatever's in your heart, whatever's in your mind, that is what you're going to believe, and that's how it works. It really is how it works. But this is literally a spiritual connection, and it is about our lives as humans, and whatever was spoken about in this channeling, we're not totally familiar with it yet, but there was an offer made, some kind of an offer made. And I do believe with these questions, we are going to dig into that a little bit here soon. So let us see what Tarot has to share with this. And you could take it also as with illusion, that none of it actually happened anyway, or that this offer is just an illusion and that the contact was just an illusion. But again, I don't believe that's the case, simply because the heart and the mind, they know the contact, they feel the love, and they realize what it means to humanity. That illusion card is for those people who just aren't quite awake yet, I think. So let us check out tarot here. We have Page of Wands. I feel like this was a new connection, something that hasn't come through before for whoever was the channeler for this particular message. They might have even been new to channeling, but Enki would have realized where that person's belief system lay and whether or not they could handle that message. Illusion. Yeah, we've got the Magician here. And the magician can be quite the trickster. Definitely quite the trickster. So for those people who do not believe, this is just a game, something to feed the masses that isn't true. That's where their belief system lays. And then we have King of Swords. This is a card about mastering the mind, being the master of your mind, being more logical than emotional. But in this case with Karate Kid, the mind is saying logically, we know who this is. The heart is saying, with Karate Kid, the heart is saying, we know who this is. So the logic is strong, maybe a little bit stronger than the heart, putting all the pieces together as to who this is and what they have to share. But they're trusting the communication that's coming through, trusting that it's stable, trusting that it's real, it appears to be structured well. So that's what we're believing. Contact, we have Page of Pentacles. This is a message to humanity. Contact, a message to humanity. Four of Cups. Sure, there's definitely going to be some parts of this message that maybe you don't necessarily believe or don't necessarily embrace. Why? Because you don't know much about it as yet, right? You have to experience certain things before you can say, ah, that was it. That's what he talked about. So yeah, you might be kind of doubtful on some things. Two of Wands. And it's going to have to be your decision whether you actually walk through that gateway or not. And in essence, it's something new. It is, well, I'm going to say it's kind of like a lucid dream. You have a choice. You have a choice on whether to continue with that dream or not continue with that dream. You have a choice as to how that dream will flow. So it's going to be your decision to decide what's real for you and what isn't. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. This was a very carefully crafted offer. Very carefully crafted offer. And I think Enki, we're just going to say Enki, I'm going to say that Enki worked on it for quite a long time and before coming here to make sure that it was exactly crafted as he wanted it to be. Now, whether or not that means it is something we can trust or not, we don't know yet. We're going to move forward with the cards with that and find out. So let's get these cleaned up and move on to question 2. And if you are new to my channel, fair warning, you may be hearing strange noises in the background. Anybody who follows me knows that this is my Chihuahua who lays in the bed next to me and snores. This is his, I guess, his time for catching up on sleep. And he's very vocal about his sleep. So, fair warning there. So, question 2. What is the original blueprint being offered to us? So what does it actually contain is what we're looking for. Is it healing? Is it empowerment? Is it control? Is it something else? So what is the original blueprint being offered to us? Ghost. I believe this is saying it has something to do with our soul. I'm going to say soul at first glance here. This is just one card. Speed. Sometimes you just need a few more cards to really get the gist of the message here. The devil went down to Georgia. For love of the game. Okay, so with Ghost, what it says on this card here is before Sam was murdered, he told Molly he would love and protect her forever. So I feel like with Ghost, this kind of has a double meaning here. This very well could be talking about, again, our souls, okay? Or our frequency, perhaps. The health of our frequency, which we are each born with our own individual frequency. It's like a fingerprint. It is not like anyone else's. We have our very own. And I feel like this is saying that the blueprint, the original blueprint that's being offered to us, is going to protect that. It's going to allow us to change the rate of speed that it vibrates, and perhaps allowing us to go beyond the veil whenever we wish to, because those who are beyond the veil vibrate at a speed that we can't see, which is why they are basically invisible to us, even if they're around us all the time. Okay, so it's almost as though this is saying this is something that you can have. You can have it. And Enki knows, with Devil Went Down to Georgia, that this is a very tempting thing for us. A very tempting thing for us. But I feel like with For Love of the Game, this is saying that we need to choose between life and death. Now this seems very strange at this point. But if you think about it, we have ghost, which means somebody has passed away. They're here, but they're not here. Their frequency is very rapid, very fast. We are unable to see them. It may appear to some to be a fantastic place to be. It's a temptation, right? But I almost feel like this is not Enki's part of this blueprint. This could be Enlil's part of the blueprint. And because this For Love of the Game is in the center, I could swear, because throughout history, what we know about these two brothers is that they have always been vying for humanity's control or humanity's worship or whatever. It's always just been a challenge, okay, between the two of them. It's become a game. It is a game to them. And it is, I feel like the blueprint, part of what it is to give us the opportunity to choose to live or die. So let's keep going here. This is Ball of Fire, 9 to 5, Tarzan and his mate. I think they're saying they believe, or at least it's believed, that this is a very hot choice. Very hot choice. Because to them, this working 9 to 5 business definitely doesn't seem to be the ultimate kind of living. And that they're saying that there's so much more with Tarzan and his mate, so much more to life than this. You come back as somebody completely new if you choose this side of the game. Okay, so with that extra there, I'm going to go back here. What is the original blueprint being offered to us? Asking what it actually contains, whether it's healing, whether it's empowerment, control, something else. And I'm going to say that somebody's putting out there for the purpose, and again, we're talking for love of the game, which is clearing the mechanism is one of the things that movie is all about. But I also feel like this is reminding us of the two brothers, Enki and Enlil. Okay, this is our original state when we come in to become human. Okay, this is our soul. This is where we're at first. It's our soul, and we slow down our frequency to be able to become human. We slow down our frequency to become human. With The Devil Went Down to Georgia, if you think about that song, it is a challenge between the devil and someone else who believes they are a fantastic fiddler and can beat the devil, okay? So it's the speed, all right? The speed that they're playing these fiddles. The brothers know that it is tempting not to live that human life or continue living the human life. That it is very tempting because spirit just seems to be a much easier place to be, right? Here. This is where we knew everything, where we were comfortable. It's what a lot of us call home. So they're giving us the opportunity to clear the mechanism, wipe the mind. Just wipe the idea of humanity right out. And they really feel like this is the hot choice. Really, the hot choice. We can be reborn then as something new in a more natural state. This is kind of how it's coming out. We still have a good number of questions here for this reading, but this is how this is coming out. The idea that this is a game for these two brothers is a little disturbing, but, should not really be surprising with the history that has gone on. But this challenge, this temptation, it's like a clause in a contract. Let's see what we can get out of the tarot here. So we have Ace of Pentacles. In spirit, we can come and be born and live on earth in whatever way we choose. There is no limit to how it happens, what we choose in spirit for life on earth. There is no limit. Three of Swords. When we slow down our frequency from spirit to become someone on earth. When we slow down, we open up our hearts to a lot of different emotion, okay? We open up our hearts to betrayal, deceit. This is where things stand. But everything we go through here, it grows our mind, allows us to kind of balance both heart and mind. Ace of Swords. This mind power is a gift. Being able to think for ourselves is a gift. Being able to experience communication, being able to come up with ideas, being able to create the life that we would like to live. That's a gift. That's with the Ace of Swords, and it is unlimited, just as how we choose to live is unlimited. The Devil went down to Georgia. They're attempting to tempt us to clear that mechanism, to forget everything that humanity is about. Two of Swords. And it is truly a decision of whether we want them to do that with our minds. To forget everything, to play their game and to forget everything. And, you know, we've got swords 3 times here. Knight of Wands. The ball of fire is also that huge spark of humanity. That huge spark of humanity. And they want us to wipe that out. Just put out that spark. Rather than having an active imagination with this Knight of Wands, rather than having an active imagination and being able to create ourselves as we want to create ourselves, they're asking us to wipe it all out. Page of Wands. This is a message to say, hey, destroy it. Get rid of it. Who wants to live this kind of a physical life? Work and toil your entire life. Who wants to do that? Destroy it. 7 of Cups. If you do it our way, there are many other choices that you can make. You can come back a completely different human. Completely different. And we'll let you choose. Maybe. So the whole point is, this offer, the way that it looks, it is literally to wipe out who humanity actually currently is, and to make it sound really good by saying we can choose out of a number of different whatever they offer us to be a new kind of human, a new species, a new something. This is what I'm getting. They want us to snuff out who we are as humans right now. But from this standpoint, we have a lot of freedom. We choose our life path. We choose the kind of life that we want to have. They don't want to let us do that anymore. So let's pick up and see where else this goes. So there are 8 questions to this. We'll be starting question 3. And there are going to be some of you, I'm sure, that, are not going to be pleased with whatever message. It's not going to fit with your belief system, and that's okay. Take what works for you and the other with a grain of salt, literally, because everything is open to interpretation. All right. Question 3. Has our DNA been manipulated in the past? And if so, by whom and why? Has our DNA been manipulated in the past? If so, by whom and why? All right, we have signs. So I'm going to say that's saying that there appear to be signs that, yes, DNA has been manipulated. And since it's showing meteors, I'm going to say either our light bodies or it's been done by people from outer space. We have nostalgia. I feel like this is, signs. Okay, let's go back a step here. If all of a sudden what came to mind was signs. The signs that we've had signs that our DNA has been manipulated. And these signs have to do with our memories. What we remember. And the first thing that comes to mind on that is the Mandela effect. Then we have Hidalgo. Hidalgo's all about a race across the desert. I feel like some of what's been going on has been a race, kind of dry runs maybe for things that these beings would like to do when it comes to our DNA. Galaxy Quest. Okay, so we're going back to For Love of the Game here and Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest is just a show, in the movie, it is just a fake show about aliens, kind of like with us watching Star Trek. But they end up being on a real spaceship with real aliens, okay? This is all a game. Not only to Enki and Enlil, okay, but also to whoever these alien beings are that have messed with our DNA already. They've done it as a race between other aliens. Let's see who can mess with the humans fastest. So then we have Gilda. There's that ball of fire again. And iRobot. So I feel like this is saying here, they find it very difficult to work with our DNA or to change our DNA because we are so unique. We have a life spark like no other. And yes, they maybe have been trying to make us more robotic. That could be very well by removing our memories. If we have nothing to remember, and we just do as we're told, I guess that is kind of robotic, right? So our DNA probably has been messed with. There's signs, obviously, that our memories are very different with the Mandela effect. We don't all have the same memories anymore, and that could be where they started this race. So let us see what tarot has to add. And it could very well be that the end goal is to have us be robots. For sure. Anything's possible. It's always the human race that gets picked on, though. You notice that? Okay, so then we have the Four of Wands. The signs are showing that the structure and the stability of us, our bodies, is definitely being messed with. There's been some transformation in there. The Sun. We've seen it, yeah. We've seen it very clearly in the memories that have changed. People think they're timelines and that kind of thing, but we've seen it in the memories, the nostalgia, the things that each of us remembers from childhood, commercials, books, and so on. We've seen the changes. We've seen the transformations. The Star. Yeah, it is a race. We've been used as a race. They've been racing to see who can mess with human DNA the fastest. The Magician. The Tricksters. And again, here we have Galaxy Quest. The Tricksters. The World. Yeah, it isn't just one race of people. And here we go with race again. It isn't just one race of people that they're messing with. They're messing with all of us. Worldwide. Races worldwide. But they're also discovering with the Hanged Man that they might have to look at things a little bit differently, because humans have a life spark that burns very, very brightly. Five of Cups. We're not going to release our humanity easily. We're not going to let go easily. We have emotions. They can't very well remove those emotions, and that is one of the blocks to turning us into robots. That is definitely one of the blocks. Now, I don't believe that these aliens are the same as Enki and Enlil. These are different ones. These are ones who have manipulated our DNA in the past. So in essence, this really doesn't have anything to do with the so-called original blueprint or the offer that Enki has brought into the picture. This is just giving a little bit of history about our DNA and whether it's been changed. Well, if you follow any of the oddities that are, have been going on for many years where people are not remembering the same things, well, right there it just showed in the cards that the Mandela effect is a thing. Okay, so question 4. Is the current blueprint meant to heal our DNA or destroy it? So what really is happening behind the offer? We already know that Enki and Enlil really enjoy their games, using humans for their games. And that they're offering us the opportunity to change humanity completely, so that we're no longer workhorses, maybe, with the card 9 to 5, but that we can live more freely like Tarzan. So let us see what this current blueprint, is it meant to heal our DNA or destroy it? So we have fried green tomatoes. This card has two meanings for me. One is when you look at the people in the center. And if you've ever seen this movie, it talks about friendship. I mean, these people are friends. They're very close friends. They know one another well. It is part of what humanity is capable of. We can make friends. We can have close-knit families. We can have an emotional connection to other people. Okay, that is humanity right now. With the fried green tomatoes, tomatoes are are grown to look red and healthy. And before they get to that red and healthy state, they're green. And then rather than allow them to mature, ripen, the green is taken and cut up and fried for a meal. So to me, when things do not ripen, they're destroyed too soon. Now, whether that means that, and I'm just giving you the two choices I see with this card right now without having any other cards to work with. We're going to remedy that right this minute, but that's the take on those two. We have teach your children. This is all about following in the steps of our ancestors, honoring what they have accomplished, what they've done, really seeing how tough life was for them and moving forward, sometimes even going backward, because they were very wise. They grew their own food, right? They didn't depend upon corporations to feed them. This is our individual ability to build our own future, to create the path we want to live, to teach our children the way we feel is most effective for them, not everyone else. We, as a close-knit community, we have this ability. We have this ability. I know this is getting to a point here. I can feel it. I can feel it. Bicentennial Man. Here we are back at the robot kind of thing. And in Bicentennial Man, if you have seen that movie, you know that Robin Williams was striving to be human, to become human and look human. And in the meantime, technology was allowing humans to live longer by getting parts, robotic parts, to replace organs that were failing. Speed. Again. Okay, so, and we're looking at, is the current blueprint meant to heal our DNA or destroy it? What's really happening behind the offer? I think it's both. I think that each person has the choice. If you want your DNA destroyed, that's perfectly okay. If you want to stay as human as you are now and to be like your ancestors, that is perfectly okay too. You can give up your humanity and become robotic, or you can stay human and perhaps do as the people did in Bicentennial Man and kind of replace certain body parts so that you live a little bit longer. But unless you replace your heart, I don't think the humanity part of things is going to change. But I almost feel as though the current blueprint that's being offered is like a cheap watch. If you have ever, if you've seen the movie Speed, the reason the guy is doing what he's doing to the people on the bus is because he was given only a cheap watch for his retirement. After years and years of service, a cheap watch. So let's move forward here. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Twilight Zone, and Outbreak. Yeah, I really think they want to turn us into, or test and play with our DNA to see what they can create. Look at all the different beings in this Guardians of the Galaxy card. There's a lot of different beings, and some of it is going to be so Twilight Zone-ish. Look who that human sees in the mirror. And, well, I think they already started. We know what this is about, right? So if we're to look at things, the previous question allowed for the Two of Swords to say this is something that you need to decide if you want done to you or not. Okay? But I'm going to say what they're leaning toward is destruction of our DNA, destruction of humanity, turning us into other things just because it's a game. It's fun for them. For this guy who got the cheap watch, this was fun for him. It was what it was. So I don't think this is necessarily about healing our DNA at all. I think the game continues. Oops. We don't do jumpers here. So let's see what Tarot has to share. The Magician. Yeah, they are trying, someone out there, Enki, whoever, is trying very, very hard to make it look like this is an offer that is for humanity. And no, this is definitely trickster energy. It really is. Knight of Cups. We need to actively use our intuition and pay attention to, again, what our ancestors did. What do we want for our children emotionally? What do we want for our children? Do we want to be robotic? Do we want them to be chimpanzees? Do we want them to be turned into something we don't recognize? We need to pay attention, be actively understanding our emotions and what it is that we truly want to feel. Do we not want to have emotions anymore? I know that's so tempting when things are so hurtful. But without emotions, we really aren't human. So we need to keep our emotions active. Four of Swords. Yes, this is another death card. Becoming robots would be the death of us. Truly. The Lovers. So yes, the choice is there. The Lovers is a choice card. So we are being given the choice. I think we really have to pay attention to the wording in the blueprint, the contract, whatever it happens to be. We need to pay attention to the wording. We had a lot of swords in the last question. It was, or one of the questions, maybe the second question. Anyway, we had a lot of swords, we need to pay attention to the mind, the communication that we're being given. The Emperor. There is one person that wants to, or one being that wants to be in charge of all of this, or that is in charge of all of this. Is that Enki? Five of Wands. They want us to be like, to keep their game going. They want us to be like pawns on a chessboard. And they want to kind of play with our DNA to see, again, what comes out of it. Ten of Wands. They want to take away our burden, our spark, our fire. They want to take that away and take over for us. Use different methods, again, to turn us into a lot of different things. And if you look at this, she's carrying multiple different kinds of flowers here. And she just can't seem to get enough of different kinds of flowers. She just keeps looking no matter how big the burden is. And I think that's what they're hoping for, is that we'll just roll over and keep asking for something different. Keep telling them, oh, it's okay. Go ahead, mess with our DNA. Let's see what we become next. So although I think we have a choice, they want to push all of this for their game. Again, for love of the game. The guy from Speed, he enjoyed doing it because he felt like he had something better coming. And when they wouldn't do it, he decided to have some fun at the expense of innocent people. All right, so let us pick these up and move on to question 5. All right, in question 5, what should humanity understand right now about this process? So kind of a key truth or an awareness that we need to ground ourselves to. What should humanity understand right now about this process? And going backwards to question 1. Over here we had the illusion card. Over here we had let your love flow. As we've been reading through this, and we had offer down here, And that was right below illusion. And at first I thought that that was because it said offer, that it was Enki. I'm thinking now that it isn't Enki at all. It wasn't Enki that came through that channeling with whoever that person was, because there was also the page of swords, I believe, that was on top of Let Your Love Flow, which would have meant that that person was, it was either Page of Swords or Page of Wands, I think, but that person was too new to channeling to give a, or to really be able to discern what was a real message and what wasn't. So that person may have thought that they were channeling Enki at the start, but it really was an illusion. And they mirrored the offer, trying to entice humanity into what we've been talking about here. All right, went backwards here. I'll let you, through the reading, decide what you think about what you see in the cards and how I've explained them. So anyway, let's see what number 5 has to say. What should humanity understand right now about this process? And I think I already did this, but that's okay. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. And I kind of have an idea what that means to me, but okay, release. All right. As humans, when we come into this lifetime, we come in with a plan, and that plan isn't always lollipops and rainbows. We have things to learn. We have things to feed our soul, things our soul wants to experience. And some of that is burden related, okay? Some of that is being in service to others. So in other words, when we're in service to others, those people are not a burden. They're not heavy. They're your brothers, sisters. They're not heavy. We bear the burden because we've chosen to bear the burden. When we pass on, and sometimes through life, we learn how to release what hurts our heart. Emotionally. Lucky night. This is what makes humans who they are and makes us lucky to be who we are as humans. I think we're the only ones perhaps with the kind of emotion that we have, the uniqueness that makes us human. Flatliners. We also have the ability to come back to life, to reincarnate and become different people, have different experiences, go through this same thing, but our soul is learning as we go. Reinvention, karma, and fallen angel. So yes, each lifetime we reinvent who we are. It's a karmic cycle. Eventually, I believe that once we have, learned as much as we choose to learn, that we no longer have to reincarnate. And I think we can probably choose to reincarnate or not to reincarnate for hundreds of thousands of years. And what this is all about is attempting to take away the freedom that we have as humans. The freedom that we have on Earth, or as humans, to do this cycle. Now, keeping in mind, right now we are talking about the human DNA, humanity and DNA, but this process, we don't have to be human every time. We can be alien also. We might be able to be animals. We might be able to be insects. I'm not sure if it's a cross thing or not. So let's see what tarot has to add here. Strength. Yes. It is being in service to others that gives us the strength. That's our human strength, is caring for other people, being a community. Human strength. We're not burdens to each other, or shouldn't be. King of Swords. This heals our hearts. When we release the pain in our heart, it expands our mind, expands our growth. Doesn't take away our heart. It just expands our mind and expands our growth. Makes us even more knowledgeable humans. Four of Swords. Death is a lucky thing. Four of Swords is a card for death. Death is a lucky thing. We are able to die. We're not immortal like Enki and Enlil. I don't believe they can ever die. We can, and that might be kind of a little bit of contention there, because they cannot die. But we also have the ability to rest, the ability to sleep. I think there's a lot that do not have that opportunity. Wheel of Fortune. Yes, we have the change where we can be alive one day and not alive the next day. We have the ability to change our physical selves because of this ability. Six of Swords, the reinvention that we come up with. We have peace of mind. We're right where we're supposed to be. Whatever life we choose, we need to have peace of mind, because this is the life we invented from the last one. Karma, Queen of Swords. This is the truth about humanity. This is definitely the truth about humanity. Everything that happens is karmic. There's a pattern. There's a reason behind all of it. Five of Cups. Again, this is a card of emotional loss. If we were to lose our emotions, we would be like a fallen angel. We would no longer be human. So, what should humanity understand right now about this process? We are special and unique individuals. But we are also special and unique together. We have the ability to understand one another, to help one another. We have this ability. There are so many good things about being human. And so basically it's saying hang on to that idea, anchor ourselves, ground ourselves in that idea that being human, we have a lot of things others do not have. which makes many very, very envious of us. And when people are envious, they want to take away what we have. Make us more like them. Okay, so moving on to question 6. What action should we take to align with our highest timeline? What should we do, both individually and collectively, to, whatever that is for you, wherever that is for you. The sound of silence. I think that's just saying, first you need to know who you are, who you want to be, where you want to be. So spending a little time on your own starts the process. Running on empty. Yep, slow down. And the sound of silence card too is about connecting, and I'm going to say connecting with our spirit team, because running on empty is about slowing down to notice the signs, trusting the path, trusting what they're sharing with you in your silence. Your spirit team. Practical magic. Create a ritual for yourself. Some kind of a ritual that allows you to have that silence and to receive those signs. The more signs you receive and the more communication that you have with your spirit team, the closer to your path, your correct path you're going to be, and your highest timeline. Yeah, love train. So it's a collective movement. It's love. It is hope. This is the universal solution. Love. There's that speed card again. The window and barrier. I feel like this is saying speed is of the essence here, because the game is afoot. All right. Everything that we've seen so far in this reading is not good for us, the way that it looks. So speed is of the essence to start anchoring ourselves, as it told us in the last, realizing how special we are as humans and that we have a right to exist as we are. We will become better in our own time. We don't need other people tampering with our DNA and that kind of thing. We don't need that. We will get better in our own eyes and what we feel is better in our own time. We need to hurry at this. We need to really get on board, because we only have a small window to work with here. Things have been happening along the way, as we know. 2020 with outbreak over here, we all know what that was about. Okay, things are being done. A barrier is being created, or we need to create that barrier. We need to ask for assistance from our spirit teams. We need to create a barrier to keep our DNA from being touched. This barrier is perhaps our highest timeline. getting to our highest timeline. That will produce a barrier where we can't be touched. Our DNA must be left alone. It cannot be touched. So let's allow Tarot to give its wisdom here. Okay. We have 8 of Pentacles. This is where we want to master who we are. Really get in there and look at, in the silence and the connection, really get in there and look at what we are and begin to really paint that picture of the person that we want to be, the life we want to have. Really get in there and dig deep. That will, with slowing down, seeing the signs that our spirit team is helping us with, trusting the path, we will transform. And death is not death. Death is transforming something in our lives to better ourselves. The High Priestess, yes, rituals done in secret. You don't have to share it with anybody. And you instinctively know, your higher mind knows what is best for you. And you can find that in this silence and in the signs. Judgment, you're being called to love. You're being called to bring your love to this collective movement, to be part of the universal solution for humanity. You're being called. See, she's blowing the horn. You're being called. The Moon. Again, speed is of the essence, because there's a lot of illusion out there trying to grab a hold of us. A lot of things that we just cannot see, truly see what the implications are. 4 of Swords, yes, this window of opportunity, this small window of opportunity. And as I told you, the 4 of Swords is a death card also, meaning a death. Not, and this could, well, in this case, it's death of the mind, right? Remember in the center, we had, for love of the game, clear the mechanism. Stolen mind. We only have a window of opportunity here, a small window of opportunity to keep that from happening. 4 of Wands, yes, when we are high up in our mind, there is a barrier. Look how high up they are. That's home. That's the barrier. That's where we cannot be touched. So that is the action that we need to take. The silence. Communicating with our spirit teams. Having the rituals to get this information and accepting our part in the love train. Okay, so let us move on to question 7. We have one more after this. After question 7, we have question 8, and then the reading is complete. This has definitely gone, well, I guess I really didn't have any expectations on this one, because you just never know where the cards are going to take you with questions like this. And again, it might be, you know, that such a thing that there are those who might be a little disappointed at what's being seen, but then again, maybe it'll be a relief to some. Maybe. It's hard to say. All right, so question 7. What must we avoid to protect our energy and our sovereignty? So our freedom, our humanity. Pitfalls, traps, illusions to steer clear of, that kind of thing. That's what we're looking at. What must we avoid to protect our energy and our sovereignty? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Waffling back and forth. Oh, I'm not sure, if I got this opportunity, gosh, would I take it? I think I'd kind of like this about it and this about it, but oh, I don't know. I really like, yeah. They're saying no waffling. Suspect. Be suspect. Don't just accept things at face value. Again, even this reading, you need to look at the cards and allow your own intuition to step in and decide what all of this means to you. Don't be quick to just accept. Be suspect. And I think this is also pay attention to people who say one thing and do another. Again, there's the window. Meaning it's a very short opportunity, very short window of time. And that could also mean look very closely. When you look out a window, you're looking at something because you've maybe, let's say you're in your house and you hear a sound outside that's unfamiliar and you want to know what that is. You look out your window and you look carefully. Do that. Avoid not looking. In other words, it's safer if I don't look. Okay? So pay attention to people who are, say one thing, do the opposite. Don't waffle yourself. Be suspect of things that I suppose seem too good to be true. Look out that window. Pay attention to the details. Keep your memory strong. Allow that inner child to come up and bring you a lot of the memories. Keep your memory strong. Believe the way you believe. It is okay. It is okay. Don't give away your mind. Again, look where that card is. Don't give away your mind. For love of the game was here. Clear the mechanism. No, no, no. These are what to avoid to protect our energy and our sovereignty, right? I didn't have to do that, but anyway. Love train. Hop on that love train. Not doing these things will probably end up being the nightmare that you don't want to be a part of. As it stands with American Pie, we are human. We are human. This means We love music. We have history, which a lot of times isn't factual history, allegedly. We have tragedies. We have memories. This is all the things that make us human. They're the things that we chose before we were born, what kind of life we wanted to have. And one of those questions, we saw all that happening. Again, something that makes us very, very unique as humans, as people, as whoever we decide to be. But in this case, it is humanity we are talking about, and we are human, so this is how we stay away from the bad stuff, the bad stories. So let's see what Tarot has to share. The Emperor. There's always going to be one of those people, and we saw the Emperor down here previously in a question, but as the individual, the god, the whoever who is trying to steer this boat, trying to get humans to agree to this DNA change or this destruction of DNA, to play with us like a cat plays with a cat toy. So beware of know-it-all kind of people, people who are too pushy, people who say one thing and do another. Queen of Swords, look at your logic and pay attention to how you feel about yourself, how you feel about being human. Be suspect of anyone who is trying to push you to do something that you would never do to yourself, because you care about yourself. You take care of yourself. Three of Wands. If you think it's something to be suspect of, when you look out that window, you are correct. Your imagination might be growing, and that's okay. Better safe than sorry, right? We're trying to stay away from pitfalls, traps, illusions to steer clear of, that kind of thing. So, yeah. And if you need to go up on higher ground to see better, do so. Ace of Pentacles. Yes, this is part of being human. One of the gifts of life is our memories. Being able to remember things, remember people, remember sometimes past lives. Just being able to remember is a gift. Six of Cups. This love train is all about love harmony, emotional harmony with one another. It's a very harmonious place to be. This is what we want. If we stay in that vibration, if we stay on that love train, nothing bad can happen. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, keep painting your life the way that you want it. Use the colors you decide upon. Practice, practice, practice. It'll become a mastery. And again, nothing bad will happen or can happen. Eight of Swords. We are not victims. If we think we're victims to all of this that we've been discussing, if we think that we're victims, that's all in our mind. It's all in our mind. Kind of like, I mean, obviously with American Pie, the music, the history, the tragedy, nostalgia. Okay, so music. Music's been changed, allegedly. The frequency of the music to change or try to change us, okay? History has been played with, allegedly, to try and make us believe specific things. There's been tragedies that have been used to really jerk at our emotions, right? And our memory has been played with, again, going back to Mandela effect, right? But we choose what we believe. And we choose to be a victim or not. We choose to allow our minds to be trapped in some kind of goofy illusion because somebody told us that's how it was. Instead of looking into things on our own, we're believing and letting someone else dictate what we believe. But if you look at this card, she is in a cage, but can easily get out of that cage. The top of the cage is open. She is not a victim. But that's what she sees because she's not looking around. She's just taking everything at face value. So it's saying, don't do that. Look into all this stuff that I was just talking about for yourself and realize how many games, remember, have been played on us as humans. All right, so we have one question left. And this has been quite an enlightening reading for sure. That love train card, though, that's big. It literally is the universal solution. Love keeps us in high frequency. And high frequency protects us. All right. Oh, going away. Okay. All right. So, question 8. What is Enki's actual role in this current phase of evolution? So with this, we're trying to clarify whether Enki is benevolent or neutral, deceptive, misrepresented. We're going to see what it says. What is Enki's actual role in this current phase of evolution? All right. Here we go. A Knight's Tale. A Knight's Tale is about Heath Ledger wanting to be a knight, believing he can be a knight, and doing all the right moves to try to become a knight. Ball of confusion. This is misleading information. Okay. This goes back to question 1 here, where again, now that I've gone through most of the reading, I'm realizing that illusion card was important. That illusion card was right here where this ball of confusion is. The let your love flow, the connection that the person had, whoever channeled, believes that they were getting Enki, They were getting Enki. The Knight's Tale, when we're saying what is Enki's actual role in this current phase of evolution, is he benevolent, neutral? I think it is somebody who is pretending to be Enki. Maybe it's Enlil pretending to be Enki. But whatever it is, it isn't. Eventually, it may be, because in the tail end of A Knight's Tale, he gets knighted, okay? Right now, I don't think that's who we're dealing with. It is misleading. So let us... I get so wound up, I don't remember if I've split the cards or... Okay. I am legend. This is a lone being right now that I think came in to that channeling. If that's where it came from. Again, I am assuming that it was a channeling that from someone, again, Paige, someone new to channeling. Or the being that came in was new to this person and gave a new message. Yep, it is another being. A lone being. It is not Enki. And they're a wonderful illusionist. Can you see that? Illusionist. 2012, intent on the destruction of the world. Transforming us into whatever it wants. And it very well could be Enki that comes in to save the day. Let's move on to tarot here. The Fool. Okay. I'm just going to say, and in case you can't see it, I'm serious, it says the Fool. So the Fool can be exactly that. We can be fools if we are believing everything that we are hearing from this Knight's Tale. Two of Cups. We need to really assess our intuition on this. Make a decision on what we believe. Do we believe this is Enki or do we not? Is it misleading information or is it not? We need to decide for ourselves on that. The more we know of ourselves, the more respect we have for our decisions, for who we are, the faster and the clearer that decision is or will be. The Devil. It's a lone being. It has nothing to do with anything good. This being wants to take our power away. Seven of Cups. It might even be kind of a committee of beings with one specific one in charge. We've had the Emperor a couple of times. Ace of Cups. This is an illusionist who knows how to play with our emotions, and boy, they're very good at it. They know how to twist and turn our emotions, and there doesn't seem to be any end to it. Five of Cups. Yep, they want to destroy humanity. What makes us human? That's what they want to destroy. Our emotions make us human. They want to destroy it. Five of Swords. They want to transform our minds. Again, for love of the game, clear the mechanism. Yep. So Enki is not, this is not Enki right now. This is pretty clear cut. So that is it for this reading for today, for this viewer's request. Again, thank you so much, USI Venus, for this subject matter. It's been very fascinating, and I hope that you all have gotten something from it. If you would like to have me look into a specific subject matter, please put it in the comments below. Give a little bit of detail, if you would, as to what you're looking for, what kind of subject it is, and yeah, just give me a little bit of detail so it kind of saves time back and forth between us. So that's it. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope that you've made it to the end, and we will see you in the next viewer request. Take care.